Hello, this is Mrs. Hall, and in this video, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to make wheels on your skateboard. So I'm going to expand this view right here, and as you can see, I've drawn one set of wheels on my skateboard. I have these measurements here, not because you need to write them, but because I'm trying to show you that this is 2 inches wide here and 2 inches wide here. I thought it'd be easiest to draw in a rectangular box versus just free drawing it. I feel like it will be a little bit more even. So these wheels, in terms of the measurements, this is going to go on the 12 by 18 inch paper. If you did the 2 pieces of printer paper put together, those measurements are going to be a little different, and we're going to do those second. So first of all, if you have the 12 by 18 inch paper and you would like to add wheels to that, we're going to take our ruler and we're going to put it back on this line right here, line it up with the left side at the edge, and you're going to make a mark at 2.5 and 4.5. So I find the 2, I find the 3, and halfway in between right here, that's 2.5, you're going to make a mark. Then the next one is 4.5. So I find the 4, I find the 5, and halfway in between is 4.5. Okay, I'm going to come down here. I'm going to put my ruler right below that line that I made. I have to line it up with the left side so it's correct. I'm going to make a mark at 2.5. Remember, that's the long line in between the 2 and the 3, and the 4.5, which is the long line in between the 4 and the 5. If you need to pause this video at any time, feel free to do that. All right, then I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to connect those together. Now you want to do this slightly because you're going to end up erasing these guidelines. That's what they are. These are guidelines. So just in case you forgot, this is 2.5 inches and this is 4.5 inches. And I drew that just as a guideline for you. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. I'll flip it around to make it easier. And I'm going to take my ruler and I'll put it all the way up against the edge, right underneath this line. And I'll make a mark at 2.5 and at 4.5. Okay, do the same thing here. Make a mark at 2.5 and 4.5. So I did that side a little faster because I've already done this once, so I have an idea of what I'm doing. Okay, so I'll make that line there. All right, so now I have both of my lines and I'm ready to draw my wheels. And I'm going to show you how to draw those wheels, but first I want to show the measurements for the people that had the copy paper. So if you had this 12 by 18 paper that I have at school, great. You're going to put that aside for a minute, and if you're one of those people that had the copy paper and you taped it together, this is what you're going to do now. So our measurements are going to be slightly different. Let me see if I can change the exposure just a little bit. So our measurements here, instead of at 2.5 and 4.5, are going to be at 4 and 6. Notice the spacing. This is still a 2-inch rectangle, and it's still going to be a 2-inch rectangle down here, but I'm just changing how far it is because this skateboard is slightly bigger. All right, so here is the one that I did in the previous video, and I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to put it against the edge of the paper, just like that. And this time, like I said, I'm going to make a mark at 4 inches, which is a long line after the 4. And I'm going to make a mark at 6 inches, which is the long line after the 6. I'm going to scoot my ruler down and I'm going to align it with the left side. Remember, if you don't align it with the left side, it's not going to be correct. I'm going to make a mark at 4. I'm going to make a mark at 6. And then I'm going to connect those together. Again, you want to do this lightly because if you don't, it is going to be difficult to erase and you're going to see those lines underneath. All right, so there's one side. I'm just going to turn it around to the other side to make things easier. I'm going to put my ruler at the top. Again, make sure you align it with the left side. I'm going to make a mark at 4. I'm going to make a mark at 6. I'm going to come down here, make a mark at 4, make a mark at 6. Now, I went through that fast because I've done this before, but if you are struggling, you go ahead and just pause this video and it will be a lot easier for you. All right. Okay, so whether I have the copy paper or maybe I have the 12 by 18 paper, it's the same width. This is a 2-inch rectangle. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start drawing my wheels. So when I start drawing my wheels, I'm actually going to turn this paper like this, okay? And maybe I will try to zoom in a little bit. We'll see how this works here. There we go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to draw my wheels. Now, whenever we could share stuff, I went ahead and I just let you guys trace this. But we can't do that with sharing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw these wheels first, this kind of oval, and I want to make them about equal. So when I draw them on the side, I'm going to draw them kind of like this, okay? I'm going to leave a little space at the top. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And I'm going to try to make them as even as possible. May not happen. You may have to change this a few times, but these are about equal. All right, then I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to start making this kind of metal part at the bottom, okay? So I am going to draw a line. I'm going to leave like a little space. I'm going to turn this. It makes it easier for me. And I'm going to take my ruler. I'm going to leave like, I don't know, 1/2 inch. I'm not really measuring it, guys. So I just left this little space like this. What it's going to be is it's going to be the edge right here, okay? Then I'm going to take it, and I know I keep turning this, but sometimes when you draw, it's just easier to do that. And I'm going to find, I'm going to leave a space in the middle for this metal piece. So I'm going to kind of guess. Maybe I'm going to make a line that goes kind of over. It's going to look kind of like a volcano. And then I make a line that goes over like this. You want to make these about even. So mine are a little uneven. I could make them a little bit more even. If you really wanted to get technical, you could measure and see what the middle of that was. So like if I measure that's 5, so 2.5 is the middle, you could say, well, I want to measure exactly, and you could figure out exactly where the middle is and do that. I'm not going to get that particular, but hey, if you want to, go for it. All right, then there's like this curved line that's in here that looks like a little mountain. Again, if you don't want to draw it this way, you can find like a picture of wheels and draw it your way. That's fine. There was 2 little circles on the side here. I don't like how I did this. I need to erase that. And I guess these are just like screws holding it in place. And then I had a circle right here, so I can freehand it, but it's sometimes better if you can find something that's a circle. And then there was a little line that came, I think it was just the indent. Okay, a little line that went like that. Okay, so once I have my wheels drawn, that's the last step. You can see this is my example. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to erase the guidelines, and you can use your better eraser. If you use the end of your pencil all the time, it is going to eventually wear your pencil out. Okay, so I'm going to erase this line, and then I have a set of wheels, okay? Notice that they're facing inward, and that's important because some people draw these upside down on accident. So these 2 screws part are facing inward. So when I did the next one, I would need to draw them like this, where these 2 screws are also facing inward to give me my final product here. Okay, you can go and rewatch that video on how to draw it. You can make your own custom wheels. That's totally fine. After you get to this point and you've gotten the wheels on, even though the wheels are optional, you can go ahead and start sketching out your design. Remember, I don't want you to sketch your design on here until you've colored and finished your sketch worksheet. So if you have additional questions, please let me know. Email me, hallkr@boxy6.org. Thanks so much.